So my talk on this today is mostly about silver, but also other precious metal. I think silver seems to be the one can have the most move in the next 6 to 12 months, and start a line for silver finally. I think after decades of frustration or bear market. Let's see. Okay, this is my disclaimer. This is only for entertainment, education purpose only. You can read it in detail. So for me, I mostly manage my family asset. Okay, I look at all the different commodity more like what's the best vehicle to generate return for my family, and also publish a newsletter called What's Chen's Buying and chenpicks.com. It's my website. I'm not a particular gold bug. I'm not a silver bug. Some people really into those conspiracy theory or some other thing. I'm not. I'm more take a step back. Okay. For example, 2012, I actually exit most of gold and silver stock. And in March 2020, I pounded table. Silver, remember, dropped to 11. At that time, most people think silver will go back to single digit. I was buying upon the table. I loaded up at $12. And I also don't believe in a lot of those, demand. I don't believe ETF is a real demand, for example. Okay, I believe real demand because ETF, they can buy, they can sell at any moment notice. And I see silver can do very, very well in the coming years, and then gold-silver ratio can go back to very low. How about historical low? So I would just, because I'm Chinese, I have a lot of connection in China. A lot of people ask me about China. I'll just talk a little bit about China. Okay, the COVID lockdown is spreading. It's a terrible thing, right? And the people are really upset. A lot of people are very upset I talk to. And housing market is collapsing. This is a bubble I was talking about for a long time, and it is really collapsing. And there's a major stimulus coming. Okay, the Chinese government this time around, they're get smarter. They're not going to build empty apartment anymore. They're more focused on future. One of the key areas is solar and wind for China. And then there's a huge drought. If you may heard in Sichuan province there. A huge drought. There's a lot of short of electricity. They were cut. And so in the other hand, a lot of people say, oh, China is collapsing. Let's exit all these base metal. Actually, contrary, China also a big beneficiary for the Ukraine war. Okay, the number one beneficiary is the United States. Number two is China, because China has all these competitors. Also, it's American, right? American company, the chemical fertilizer, the smelters, the aluminum, all these energy-intensive industry in Europe is collapsing. So United States and China are two biggest winners. So on the flip side, China also benefit from the Ukraine war. And also, recently, I just added that China's oil and gas usage dropped by 20%, very significant drop, partly due to COVID lockdown. And China actually is selling natural gas to Europe. It's a little bit convoluted. China get the cheap gas from Russia, but China don't sell Russian gas. They can, but China produce natural gas. So China turn around sell their own natural gas to Europe for profit. So same thing in the United States, right? So that's another beneficial for China. So anyway, so I would just want to compare this very quickly. I put that in the silver symposium as well. You can compare silver versus lithium, right? Why lithium is so powerful, such a good thesis. Actually, I talked about that 7 years ago. It's the smallest molecule, okay, that's in the metal, smallest. You can look at the periodic table, only hydrogen, and then lithium, and then sodium, right? So you just very impossible to replace because the smallest molecule. Silver, actually, on the other hand, is the best conductor metal. It's the best conductor. There's nothing better than that. Right? So that's a kind of similarity. And then it takes a long time to build new mines. And when I show you the on the chart is the EV demand. Okay, actually you see that huge, most demand actually from China and explosive demand. So as this goes up, it's very hard to build new mine, very hard to scale up production. What happened? The price has to stay very, very high for discourage, right, the usage, and then while waiting for the supply to come online. But I can tell you from an investor right now, it's probably a little bit late into lithium game, and you have to be very careful. The Chinese battery maker, all these lithium battery maker mostly from China, right? Warren Buffett already start exiting and that BYD, and then they are using sodium to replace lithium, and the mass production start this year. So by next year, a lot of low-end battery will be replaced by sodium. Sodium is like table salt, right? So they basically have a 2/3 of capacity, but it's more stable, so less chance for catch fire. But so all these e-bike, all these e-scooter, those things will be likely replaced by sodium. But on the other hand, silver using solar panel, there's no replacement. People trying to do that for decades. They still use a lot of silver. They were talking about maybe putting some silver layer and then put a copper underneath it. They tried. In some cases, there are little certain success, but most chance you have a problem because you decrease efficiency. For solar panel, the efficiency is most important part. So if you reduce efficiency, you destroy the purpose of for solar panel, right? So I'll show you more in details. So let's go. So let's go for the, we just go for standard report. This is just published by United Nations International Energy Agency. You can Google that, okay, International Energy Report. And then they say they're talking about, okay, what are the components, what material are needed if we want to reach a certain carbon target. They put a target at 2030. Okay, I'm telling you, from current trajectory in China, we'll reach it by 2025. Only, just China only, not including the United States and Japan and Korea, all the other countries, just China only. So I'll show you this. Look, this is about 800 gigawatts, right? So this is one of the report earlier this year from China. It's talking about 7 gigawatts. This is by 2025, okay? It's not by 2030. This is another more aggressive report come out recently. They say way over 1,000 gigawatts by 2025. So China probably will exceed the United Nations goal of 2030 by 2025. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then you look at that report, see what are the critical metals needed for the solar panel industry. Okay, it's not from Chen, it's from United Nations. The first most needed metal actually called tellurium. Actually, I checked, there's no ETF, you cannot invest in that. It's the byproduct of copper mine. So actually make a copper mines may be an interesting investment. The second most needed is silver, okay? You look at it, they will take about 36-37% of the worldwide silver production. Right now, it's about 12% by the Silver Institute. I'll show you a day later. Also, actually, quite interestingly, you see all the other metal, and I want to point out also copper also quite needed, right? You see copper go from almost from 2% to 8%. From nowhere, right? It's a pure increase. You think about it, it's a steady supply, and suddenly it will increase. So let's expand it a little bit more. Okay, so I put this is the same diagram, but much bigger, so everybody can see. And then I want to point out what United Nations used was the Silver Institute's assumption. They think the silver loading factor. So basically, by 2030, they think they will use 1/4 less silver per solar panel, which I think is wrong. Okay, I'll show you that later. And then I also try to point out that from current statistics, this 2030 goal of United Nations will be reached by China, just China alone, by 2025. That's 3 years from now. Think about that. So that's again, this is the Silver Institute report. I highlight that. I met with Silver Institute 1 week ago at the Silver Symposium. They still stick with their projection. That is 13% silver were used in the solar panel last year, and then they expect that to go down to 12% this year. And what from all I've been hearing is should be complete opposite, because in the first half of this year, the China solar output increased by 50%, rather roughly. So this number is not. I think there's a big question mark on this prediction. I already reached out to Silver Institute. They are graciously arrange a meeting. I'm going to meet with them in about a week or two and to discuss the detail. Hopefully, they can have a better prediction, I believe, more accurate prediction. So again, this is the Silver Institute report this year. It came out in April, okay? So they're looking at the loading factor. It's going down every year, which is true, okay? You make a solar panel, you make it thinner, and then the narrower, all these wires, so use less and less silver. But this is about to change. This is a new silver technology, solar panel technology called TOPCon. Okay, what it does is add another layer into this. So, and then they will increase the current. Okay, the current per pack, will be 85 milligram to 140 range. Okay, this is a technology called TOPCon. And then it's most likely will be the China's technology, because China is dominating in this technological pack. You add another layer, become TOPCon. So this will take off next year. All the indication is next year this technology will take off, and then we'll use much more silver than the current existing technology. And then this is a more accurate prediction. Okay, this is a per pack. This is from Chinese research. Actually, if you look back, this is for more the American report. But China's report actually used less silver because it's technology already evolved. This is more close to real world. It's a Chinese report. It shows silver usage from current pack this year to next year TOPCon. You see, will increase by 25% to 50%. That's next year, okay? It's not 3 years or 10 years from now. There's another new technology emerging called HJT. HJT, that will more than double the current silver usage. HJT is what United States, Japan, Korea, India, all the other countries pushing because they think they cannot compete with China with PERC. So China will win the TOPCon because it's a variation of PERC. So why don't we go for the big home run, right? HJT, the advantage of HJT is it's very thin. Okay, you can put a very, very thin layer even on your glass, right? Your glass want to block ultraviolet light, so you can use that to generate electricity. You can put on the car glass. You can put many things, and it's much less carbon footprint, actually, because it's very thin. You don't need to put on the silicon. You can put it on glass. You can put any other thing. That's the next generation. Right now, the prediction is this generation will come out in 2024. But that may have a slight question mark because everybody's shooting for that for 2024. May come in a little bit early or a little bit late, depending on how fast this technology can mature. You see, the advantage is efficiency. This is lab efficiency. This is current. This is TOPCon. This is HJT. Okay, all these are theoretical efficiency, so it's the maximum they can go. You see the increase, even though it's only 1%, but over 24% base, so you increase the efficiency by 5%. That's very, very significant. I show you much worse the silver. You added silver because the solar panel total, solar panel itself is 10 to 20% of the total solar project, and then the silver itself is only maybe 10%. I'll show you. So it was the silver, added silver. So I'm just show you this going mainstream. This is a proposal in California because California has been drought. So they proposing their canal is transporting water, precious water, and then it all got evaporated. So why don't we put a solar panel on top of that to reduce evaporation, and then we generate clean electricity. This is they already plan to build it. They already passed some kind of funding legislation. Okay, this is a real world picture in China, okay, because also in the drought around, so they put on the lake. You see that they put the solar panel on the lake, they reduce evaporation by 70%, and then they generate those electricity on top. Right? So if you see a far distance, this is probably a coal or natural gas power generator. So China always pair those together. So at the daytime, you generate electricity from the solar panel. At nighttime, this runs. So you have constant power come out. But anyway, and then we have Costco, you can buy those. It's getting very common. I just want to point out a little bit that the same report, there's another technology called IBC. It has a very, very remote chance to be successful. You see that their market is much smaller, but even IBC, they will go through TBC, which is top conversion of IBC, and HBC, which is HJT version of IBC. So basically, I'm telling you, even you say, oh, there's this new technology, IBC, maybe you heard of it, it will succeed. Even this succeed, they will go through the same iteration that use much more silver in a few years. So, and also there's a double-sided solar panel I talked about the last time, and it's getting popular because the reflection from the sun, the reflection from the water, actually is a lot of energy there. And to add another layer is really worth it, even double the solar panel cost, because solar panel only a small part of the whole project. So this is a trend of solar panel. This is a company called Swift Solar. It's based in California. As I said, HJT is the standard that United States trying to compete with China. China also doing HJT as well. So there's going to be a collision course, see which one will win. And you notice it's on their website. You can go to their website, you can check. They are talking about 2 HJT layers, one for the green light, one for the red light. Okay, so this way you can increase the solar panel efficiency even more. But on the other hand, you will double the silver usage again. Remember, HJT itself will more than double the current silver. And this will double again how much more silver you need. You need 4 or 5 times at least. And then the cost of a solar panel is continue going down. The solar is the cheapest way of energy. That's why you have those effects. It's just like an electrical vehicle. Once you hit the threshold, boom, it starts to take off, especially at this current environment. And some area in China, the payback is 2 years. In Europe, I heard it can be 1 year payback. And it's a no-brainer, right? The backlog is so high. Right now, China is running out of components. So a lot of the solar panel plants actually shut down for the summer, but they will come back in fourth quarter when the components come up. I'm hearing a huge number. Sometimes number I don't quite believe, but hearing 400 gigawatts is coming, but we'll see. Okay, so basically that's my key point, and the TOPCon take off next year. That will increase the silver loading factor. You think about it, increase the loading factor and solar panel are taking off. 2 things doing the same time. It's very similar to the lithium explosion. HJT expected is 2024. 2 years from now, that will more than double the silver. Okay, and there are also multiple layers of HJT is coming, but that's many years away. So again, just reiterate, I mean, the silver loading factor, not only solar panels going up like this, the loading factor also going up. So you see the usage of silver in the solar panel going to go straight up. And this is what I really like. You look at the silver 20-year chart. You look at where we are. We are like a bottom of the range. We're like one of the worst performers in the whole commodity. So it's time for silver to take off. This is the net long. This is a Chinese report I got. You can see the net long, the market trader net short of silver is one of the lowest in the history, right? And then this is my friend Crescat. They talk about the annual performance of silver in the past 30 years. You see that 2022 is the lowest in 30 years. So you're looking at from historical perspective. Okay, I'm running out of time. So look at the US dollar is breaking out. That's the serious concern. I'm also quite bullish on PGM. I'm going to not talk about that. I mean, gold, I'm quite very bullish on gold. And the China have a 3 trillion asset. I think they will, they would rather own gold than the US dollar or US treasury. Okay, and then gold versus miners we are like very, very low, and Chinese currency, and then take off, and the investment. So basically, my point is all these juniors are really stock pickers market. Okay, so I invest with my family and money. I'm not here just to promote. I own each of those companies I introduce, and I will let them to tell their story.